All right. Hi. Hey, everyone. Hi. As you can see, it's not only me this week. Welcome to our live stream. We have guests today. I'm super happy about it. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Georgia.
Hi.
Hey. So, yeah, back here for another week, and I'm live on a different day. I usually go live on Fridays, so today's very special. And also because we have guests. So I'm super happy about that. And yeah, if you are watching, if you can see us, if you can hear us, please just leave a hi in the comments. That would be really cool. And where you're watching from, I'm always really curious about where people are watching from. And yeah, I'm in South Korea. My name is Linda from ITTT, if you don't know me. And I'm, about an hour and a half south of Seoul at the moment. It's 6:30 on a Thursday evening. And I think it's the same time where you are, right? Maddie and Georgia?
Yeah, same time zone.
Same time. And you are in?
Tokyo.
Tokyo. Yay, super exciting. And we just talked about the weather before we went live. And it's raining in Tokyo, right?
Very much. It is rainy season.
It's rainy season. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's rainy season in Korea too, but today was a good day. Today was nice, but I think it's gonna rain again. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, we have someone watching from Australia. Hey.
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Cool. Yeah, because Maddie and Georgia, you are from Australia, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Where in Australia?
We're from a country town called Kingaroy. It is the peanut capital of Australia.
Oh, that's why the name, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I wanted to ask you about that. Okay, interesting. Cool, okay. Because, yeah, Georgia and Maddy are going under the name Globetrotting Peanuts, right, on social media, and you also have a blog, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Basically, your experience of living abroad in Japan, and you also took a TEFL and TESOL course from ITTT. So that's how we kind of are connected. So that's really cool. So thanks so much for taking the time today and doing this live session with me. It's super exciting.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
Yeah. And so for everybody who's watching, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're actually live on Facebook and we're live on YouTube at the same time. So that's really cool. And yeah, please like and subscribe because we do go live every week. I also have a colleague, Lisa. She goes live usually on Tuesdays and I go live on Fridays, but sometimes it's changing. So you want to look out for that. And what else? Yeah, there's also a 30% off discount that we offer during our live. Also today, very, very special. So what you can do, you can either scan that QR code in the upper right-hand corner, or I'm going to share a link so you can just apply. 1 second with that link. If I can get it. Okay, should be here now. Looks like this. So if you apply through this link, you get 30% off a TEFL or TESOL course from ITTT. So yeah, that's a good deal. And when did you take your TEFL course? When was
last year? End of last year.
Oh yeah, not so long ago. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So you were already in Japan when you took it?
Yeah, we've already been at our jobs for about a year when we started the TESOL course. Yes.
Okay, got it. Cool. All right. And you also prepared some really nice slides for us, pictures that go along with what we're going to talk about today. So I think, let me see, you have intro slides, right? Do you want to jump into that?
Sure.
All right, cool. Oh, and at any time, for anybody who's watching, please feel free to ask questions. That's why Georgia and Maddie are here today. They will answer your questions about what it's like teaching in Japan, living in Japan, in Tokyo, and anything like that. So at any time, there's also going to be a Q&A section at the end. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so Georgia.
So that's me. Hello, I'm Georgia. So I am a teacher already. Before I came to Japan, I was a high school teacher. I was teaching music and history mostly, but in Australia you can kind of be thrown into anything. So I've taught a bunch of other subjects, English, dance, other things that I've been needed in. I love to travel, so I've done lots of travel, Europe and Canada and the US. We came to Japan on a family trip to visit Maddie when she was living here before and loved it. And last year before Corona, we went to Korea and it was amazing. We would love to come back and visit you guys.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, that's pretty much me. Yeah, I was a teacher in Australia for about 4 years before I came to Japan.
Cool. Okay. Interesting. And how did you like Korea?
Sorry, can you say that again?
Oh, how did you like Korea?
Oh, we loved it so much.
Yeah.
Just, you know, there are a lot of similarities to Japan, but it's also very different at the same time.
Right.
Loved
Yeah.
the culture, all of the history. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful place. Would recommend to anyone to visit Korea. It's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. All right. And then we have Maddy.
Okay, so that makes me Maddie. I'm the younger sister. I actually don't have a teaching background, so I actually did archaeology and Japanese in my undergraduate degree, and then
Oh, did we lose you guys? Hi, are you still there? Maybe we lost Maddie in Georgia. Let's give them a minute. Maybe the connection will come back. All right, I think we're coming back. All right, there we are.
Ooh, sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no problem.
So yes, I'm Maddie. I don't know where
Hi again.
So I don't come from a teaching background. I did archaeology and Japanese at university in my undergraduate, so hence the interest in Japan. And then I went on to do a master's in museum studies. And then within that, I did a thesis on public programs and education in museums. So that's kind of where the education interest came from.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't traveled as much as Georgia yet. I was trying last year, but we all know how that worked out. Yeah. And then, I was just working in a museum and teaching piano before I left for Japan.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Awesome. I think someone you know is watching as well. Kelly Payne.
That's our dad.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad.
Cool. Hi, Dad. Cool. And lots of other people saying hi. So it's awesome.
Hello.
Sure. Japan is an amazing country to live and work. Been here for over 15 years now. Wow. Cool.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much for watching. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Okay. Should we jump into some questions now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I prepared some questions, but the viewers feel free to also ask your questions at any time. So I'm just going to start off with my first one. So that is, why did you choose to teach English in Japan? Why Japan? I know for Maddy, it's obvious. Yeah. But what made you interested in Japan, though, in the beginning?
I was doing Japanese in high school, and I had the amazing opportunity to come here for a 10-day homestay program at the school, and I loved it. Like, it's so different to Australia that everything is exciting, everything is new. I'm a bit of a foodie, so the food is also great. So then I went on to study it in university. And again, that time I did a 6-month exchange here. And again, loved it. And then a few years later, I wanted to get some teaching experience, like for the museum world, and Japan was just a great place to do that because I loved it.
Mm-hmm. And then you brought your sister with you.
And then she decided to take on.
Basically. I had finished, I was kind of coming to the end of what I wanted to do at my school, and I was looking at new opportunities overseas, and then Maddie decided she maybe wanted to move to Japan, and I said, I'll come too. So it's literally how it happened.
Cool, that's awesome. And so did you apply like together or individually?
Individually.
Like you have to apply individually, but you can put on your JET forms that you know someone else who is applying. You have family that's applying.
Gotcha. Okay. So you both work for JET, the JET program? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Could you maybe talk a little bit about the JET program and like what does it stand for? What is it for people who don't know?
Yeah. So the JET program is Japan Exchange of Teaching. And basically you are employed as an ALT, so an assistant language teacher. You can also be employed as a CIR. I don't know what that stands for, but basically you work at the Board of Education helping them translate documents and things. So you have to have quite a high level of Japanese for that position. Then there are also sports. There's not a lot of them, but there are sports positions where you are basically a PE teacher in English. So there's the 3 positions, but the most positions are ALTs. We are both ALTs. Basically, you get put in a school or multiple schools, depending on where you're placed. And you assist the teachers to teach English, but there is a saying in the JET program, every situation is different, and it's totally true. We have lots of friends on the JET program, and everyone's experience is completely different. So you might get to teach all of your classes by yourself, and your Japanese teacher just helps you. You might just assist. You might team teach. You might teach elementary, you might teach high school, you might teach at 7 schools, you might teach at 1 school. It totally depends on your placement. It's very
interesting. Okay. And do you teach at the same school?
No.
Oh, as each other? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
We're lucky we both did get private schools in Tokyo. We were lucky to get private schools in Tokyo. But even then, like our jobs are still very different being at different schools.
Yeah, for sure. And being placed at a private school is not a common thing. It's mostly just in Tokyo. I
was just going to ask about that. Yeah, because I always thought the JET program is just public schools.
So it was until about 5 or 6 years ago. There were not any JETs in Tokyo because Tokyo had other companies. It wasn't an issue trying to get ALTs to Tokyo. So the JET program was focused on the countryside areas, but they brought JETs into Tokyo and private schools in Tokyo. And so the Tokyo JET experience is quite unique compared to other places because you have to find your own apartment, whereas in the countryside, they give you an apartment, things like that. So it's a very different life.
Gotcha. Okay. And how do you like the JET program? Was it a good choice?
I think it was. We're really lucky, as you know, we said every situation is different. So although some people have some troubles and problems on JET, we are really lucky that our schools are really good. They're very supportive of what we do. So because of that, I love the JET program.
Great. Yeah. And you listed here some pros and cons of the program. Do you want to maybe go through that?
Yeah. So, I mean, probably one of the biggest pros, considering other ALTs and other ALT companies in Japan, is the pay. The pay on the JET program is great. So that's really positive, especially when you have to afford to live in Tokyo.
Yeah.
you have a big support network. Like there are hundreds and there are thousands of jets across the whole of Japan. So you kind of have your own little community.
And there's lots of support like procedures on the JET program because it's such an old program. They have like mental health support, and they have a lot of different places that you can go to if you are having issues. There's like, you have prefectural advisors that you can reach out to if you have any issues. So there's like a lot of different ways that JET supports you.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
And they do allow for further education. They do provide grants for things like TESOL. So we got a TESOL grant in order to study with ITTT. And also for your Japanese language proficiency test, once you get to a certain level, they can also help subsidize or pay for your language proficiency test.
Oh, wow.
Really helpful.
Yeah, that is. But to join the JET program or to work through the JET program, you don't have to know Japanese, right?
No. It's obviously a plus for your application, but it's not necessary because you're not going to be teaching alone. You will have a Japanese teacher with you, and that's their job, is to help with the Japanese. So you don't have to, but it's very encouraged that you actively try to improve your Japanese while you're here.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess Maddy's Japanese is pretty good. How about Georgia?
I have learned a lot since I've been here. I knew pretty much zero Japanese coming here. But being in a Japanese school environment has helped a lot. Like my listening is a lot better because you just hear it all day. And so that's really cool. And your colleagues teach you things. And you have manuals that JET give you to study, and so it's gotten a lot better. Yeah.
Have you taken any like official classes or not yet?
So we started out taking our local city hall classes. You just it's like $2 for an evening class run by volunteers, and the $2 pays for tea and cookies.
That's so cheap. Wow, awesome.
Yeah. So that was really cool. We did that for a while, and then we started taking some Japanese lessons at a local company as well. So, but Maddy does a lot of study by herself too. She's very good at that.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Do you think like can people get by only knowing English in Japan, specifically in Tokyo?
If you're in Tokyo, you can. And we often hear of Jets who have been here for 3 or 4 years and still can't speak Japanese. I mean, it's up to each person what they want to do, but if you're in Tokyo, you definitely can get by. So you have to kind of try extra hard to make sure you're still learning.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We would definitely recommend trying to learn some though. It definitely makes your life easier. But a lot of people speak a little English, enough to help you at most places.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's similar here in Korea too. It's about the same, especially in Seoul. There are like people who live there for years and they don't know any Korean. But it helps. It definitely helps. I actually really wanted to start learning Japanese. I started, but it's so hard, the writing system, because there's 3 writing systems. So I'm like, why? It's so hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even Japanese people think their writing system is difficult. So it's really not hard for us.
Yeah, so that's really hard. I just need to sit down and every day practice all the letters, and then hopefully one day they'll stick. Because I hear like the grammar, like Korean and Japanese are actually quite similar.
I've heard that too. That people kind of interchangeably learn them pretty quickly. Like if you're Korean, Japanese. If you're Japanese, you can learn Korean.
Yeah,
but
I actually bought a book. I could show you real quick. I bought a book for learning Japanese in Korean, and they have like all the grammar. Yeah, it's really fun. Grammar explained. I don't know if you can, it's probably too small to see, but yeah, I thought maybe that way because the grammar is so similar. It makes more sense maybe to learn it with Korean instead of like English.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I need to learn the writing system first.
Yeah. Wow, good luck. Let's know how you go.
Yeah, we'll see. I should take classes too, though. But yeah.
It definitely helps, I think, particularly because Japanese has so many levels of formality that a lot of the textbooks teach you like really formal language, which is not particularly useful in everyday life. So taking lessons is really great because your teacher can say, you wouldn't probably say that to someone, you know, unless they were like the emperor. So, you know, try and here is the more casual way that you would probably say it to ordinary people.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Cool. Okay. Did we cover everything on this slide so far?
I think, I mean, with the cons,
I think so.
The cons are, they can be positive too, you know, like the fact that you can be placed anywhere in Japan is really exciting. And I know people in small communities who really love it. And the fact that every situation is different is also really cool because you have a completely unique experience and you can kind of craft it yourself a lot of the time. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend, she taught in Japan with the JEP program in Okinawa, and she really loved it. It was great.
That
3 years she was there.
Right there.
Yeah, she loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay, and next question. So, in what ways did your TEFL or TESOL course prepare you for teaching in Japan?
Well, I mean, for me, at least, I didn't come from a teaching background. I didn't study education. So my TESOL course was really everything that I know about education now. But it was fantastic, especially for teaching English as a second language, like the little things like pronunciation and grammar. Like as JETs, you don't necessarily have to teach grammar very often, but when I do, or I get asked lots of questions about it, and it's really difficult to answer about English grammar because today we don't have to think about it. So it was really, really helpful for me to understand that and also get ideas on activities and tasks that the kids can do to help them improve a lot as well. So it was really, it really taught me everything I know.
Yeah, great. And Georgia, since you came from a teaching background, why did you decide to get TEFL certified?
So I also don't know much about grammar. As a native speaker and the education system that we went through, we were not explicitly taught grammar. So it was really great to learn all of the terms for everything that you already know and be able to talk with teachers about it because they will often ask you questions like, is this sentence correct? Or if it's not correct, why is it not correct? And often we would have to say, it just isn't. I don't know why. It's not correct. But when you learn about the grammar, you can talk in more specific terms and actually be helpful to the Japanese teachers.
Got it. And walk us through what we're seeing on this slide. Are these like your biggest takeaways from the course?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially that it was so, like your courses at ITTT is so easy to use and follow and to do in your own time. Generally around, test period in Japan, you have a lot of more extra time and it was so easy to do and follow. And they give you really practical examples that I went on to use in my classes. So it's so helpful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. What do you think is the biggest or the hardest thing about teaching English as a foreign language for you? What do you think?
Grammar, for sure.
Yeah. Grammar.
Yeah, I think, grammar and trying to step out of what you know as a native because the textbooks are teaching very specific like patterns and things that are part of English, but maybe you don't use very often. So just knowing that grammar and how to explain it that's really tricky because maybe you don't use it very much. Yeah,
that's true. Cool. And you mentioned like teaching grammar is not, you don't really have to do that often as a ALT?
General, I mean, again, every situation is different, but I would say majority of jets mostly do like communication or conversation English. I guess that's why native speakers. And generally the Japanese English teachers will handle all the grammar because they are more qualified to do it than we are.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool. We have a question here from Maria.
Oh, hi, Maria.
Asking, I've always been curious about it. How easy is it to find a job, relocate, etc. in Japan?
I would say there are plenty of jobs in Japan for English teachers.
Absolutely.
The JET program is pretty competitive depending on where you're from. But there are thousands of places on the program, and there are lots of other programs in Japan, other companies that do the same thing. And outside of that, there are jobs at international schools. There are jobs at eikaiwas, which is English conversation schools that kids go to like after school. There are, I'd say there's a huge amount of jobs in Japan for English teaching for sure.
Absolutely.
And easy to relocate. JET really help you with a lot of things, so that's great. And I imagine other companies probably help you too. So we had a lot of support moving over.
Yeah, we did.
If you like want to change schools, do you like talk to somebody at JET, or do you look for a recruiter, or how does that work?
If you're on the JET program, that is, I guess, a con that if you want to change schools, it's quite difficult unless you're like getting married to someone who's in a different place, or there's family that you need to be around. Except for those situations, it's really difficult to relocate. But outside of JET, I guess it's like any other job.
You just apply for a different one.
Apply for a different job.
And so when you're in the JET program and you want to get out of it, you can? Like, is that easy? You can just quit JET and then move? Or how does that work?
You can. It's obviously discouraged because they put a lot of time and resources into hiring you, because the process for hiring JETs is really long. You send your application in October, and then you arrive in like August. So it's like quite a long process. And you are employed year by year. So I guess that's kind of a positive, because you can just decide yearly if you want to stay. But in saying that, you can quit if you want to. They can't stop you. So if you really hate it, you can absolutely quit.
Okay, cool. All right. And Maria says thanks. She also says, my skills improved a lot after taking this course. I have recommended it to all of my friends. Salutations from Izmir, Turkey.
Thank you.
It's also a place I've always wanted to go, Turkey.
Up to. Yeah.
Okay, then Robert is asking, link to JET. Do you know the website? I need to Google that.
The JET program.
JETprogram.org, is that it? JETprogram.org, I think. Looks like it. Here.
I think we're that.
This one?
Yeah.
That looks right. Okay, here you go. That's the link. Oh, and
Oh,
Robert is listening from
Hawaii.
Hamburg. Cool. Okay.
The
Right.
other cool thing about Jet is that you don't have to be a native speaker. Some companies require you to be from a native speaking English country, but Jet does not. There are less places for people, like they have certain number of places per country, but you don't have to be a native English speaker. You just have to have native level English.
Oh, that's great. So if you're not a native speaker, you have to provide like an IELTS or like some kind of English language proficiency certificate, probably, right?
Imagine you would.
So one of my colleagues is from the Philippines, and she had to do a few extra things. Like in your interview, she had to do a demo lesson, but we did not in Australia. So
does that make sense? Sometimes you have to wonder. Yeah.
You do. You really do.
So yeah, there are a few more hoops to jump through, I think, but there are plenty of people from non-native countries.
But I think that's one of the advantages of the JET program, that you don't have to be from a English-speaking country, because that's the problem with Korea and the EPIC program. They only hire people from 7 countries, like all English-speaking countries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah, that's really cool. Good for Jet. I like that.
Yeah, and it's nice for the kids to get like a variety of people, and realize that English is universal, not from like America and England.
Yeah. Right. So do you know a lot of other Jets, I guess?
Yeah. Jet has, before Corona, has a lot of like meetups so that you can meet other Jets in your area, and that's really cool.
Oh, cool.
So you get to meet from all around the world. So yeah, we have a lot of Jet friends.
Cool. And are they all from all different kinds of countries?
Yeah. All over.
Yeah. That's awesome. Cool. Yeah, and actually that's one of the next, I think that's next. Yes. So how has it been living in Japan during the pandemic? Because we just talked about pre-COVID meetups. How has it been since?
Obviously the teaching itself is a big difference. We've been wearing masks in Japan since it hit Japan, which was last March. So it's now been a year and a half of wearing a mask every time you walk out the door.
Right.
So that's really big change, especially in the classroom. Some of the kids that started last year, I have not seen the bottom half of their face. I don't know what they look like.
That's so weird.
Which is a really weird thing. But outside of that, like we've never had any harsh lockdowns in Japan. They don't really have the laws to do that. So a lot of restrictions here are based on the
trust,
morals,
the trust of the citizens to do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
I heard about that before. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it works for the most part. I think most people are pretty law-abiding, or rather not law-abiding, just like doing the right thing.
Right.
But there are always exceptions, So it has worked to a point. Yeah. And with teaching, there's been like kind of waves of what you're expected to do. When it first started, people wearing face shields, like Maddy is in that picture.
Yeah, that looks so cool. I love it.
And I guess like having a mask on, it's tough to teach kids about pronunciation and things. That can be kind of difficult. And they have the desks like have shields at lunchtime. They have to like eat in like a little plastic prison. And but like not too much, clubs have been cancelled and things like that.
Here, I mean, it depends on the school. Most schools did a big stint of online classes last May.
Maddy's done a lot of online.
My class has been my school has been quite strict with the online classes. So we've gone through, I think, 3 like quite large periods of online classes, which, is has its own difficulties when you teach English communication to 40 children on Zoom. but we do what we can.
Yeah. Oh, cool. And like, I forgot what I wanted to ask. Maybe it's gonna come back to me. Oh yeah, I just wanted to add, like, with what you were saying, that everybody was like wearing masks in the beginning since like March and everything. And I think it's kind of the same like here in Korea. I feel like it's also part of like the Asian culture. They're like more like aware of like care about the community, about the others, not just you. And even like before Corona, I think that's the same in Japan. When somebody has a cold or the flu, they wear a mask and stuff like that. So
absolutely. Yeah. I have some kids, some really shy kids that just wear masks all the time. Just because
before Corona too.
Yeah, I have quite a few. They're just like very, very shy.
Yeah. So you're right. It's part of the culture. Like it wasn't really that strange for everyone to start wearing.
I think it's strange. It's still strange because it's been going on for so long and there's like no end to it. But yeah. What about like, were like restaurants and stuff ever closed? Or
restaurants are kind of the only thing in Japan that is really being affected by the restrictions. I can't even keep up with what they're doing now, but for a while at least, they had to close by 8 p.m.
Now it's still 8 p.m.
and they weren't allowed to sell any alcohol.
But now they can serve alcohol till 7.
Okay.
There are some rules, but I think they've always been open kind of until 8 o'clock at night, because it's a big part of the culture here to eat out.
Huge, like on your way home kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because your apartments are tiny. So a lot of people don't cook. They eat out on their way home.
Yeah. And I remembered what I wanted to ask about the pandemic. Do you know if like the pandemic affected the hiring of teachers and the JET program and stuff like that? Are they still hiring? Okay.
Very much so. Yes. Not the hiring of them. Like a lot of the countries still went through the hiring processes. It's just that they couldn't get here.
So my school has been trying. I have a co-jet, so there's 2 jets at my school, and my co-jet became a teacher, and so we needed a replacement, and the replacement was supposed to arrive in November, and then it was December, and then it was January, and then February, and then maybe never. So but she's from America. So I think that was a deciding factor. But I know Australia and New Zealand sent jets in December.
Some year last year.
Because they're from like low risk countries. But there are a lot of jobs at the moment for English teachers. So if you can get here, it's a good time because there are a lot of positions open.
Yeah, because that's a good point. Because Japan, like for tourists is still closed, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Shame. I really want to go to Japan. As soon as the borders open, I'm going to be on a plane over there.
Yeah, for sure.
And we're going to Korea.
No, we need to meet.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah. No, I actually had a trip planned to Tokyo in like March 2020 to see the cherry blossoms. I had everything planned. Everything was set, and then everything got canceled. I was so sad.
Oh my gosh. It's been really strange, actually. We've had 2 cherry blossom seasons with no tourists, which is incredible.
But it must be nice for you, though.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like a dream of mine to see like the cherry blossoms in Japan with like the castle and like people wearing kimono and like and Mount Fuji. I hope maybe next year. Okay, and then I think you're gonna show us your apartment and the biggest culture shocks. So what have been some of the biggest culture shocks of living in Japan?
I mean, this is on the slide, the apartments. I mean, this is also kind of Tokyo specific. Obviously, other people live in bigger places, but yeah, we shared a 17 square meter apartment for 2 years. We've literally just moved. We both moved into our own individual apartments on Saturday. So yay for us. But yay. You can see like that's how close we were sleeping up in our loft. Our kitchen, a sink and 2 burners. And, just coming from Australia, that was a big shock, and it took a lot of getting used to. We're fine now, but when we got here, it was like, oh no, what have we done?
And you mentioned, like, because you're in the JET program in Tokyo, you needed to find your own apartment, like, by yourself. How was that? If you're, like, new to this country and then find an apartment, that must be really challenging.
Yeah, they do put you onto an English-speaking real estate before if you're placed in Tokyo. Some people, if they have good enough Japanese, decide to find their own place. But for us, we found the company really helpful, and we actually got this apartment sight unseen before we got to Japan.
Which is risky.
Okay.
It's not recommended. They don't recommend to do that. Wait till you're right.
Yeah, but they were really
when you sign the contract, is it like for a whole year, or
2 years is the average in Japan? But it's not hard to get out of, so don't freak out about it. Like it's easy to get out of if you give them a month's notice. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any other culture shocks? Just the apartment, or?
I mean, kind of like for me, I've been here so many times already that probably the traditional culture shock.
And you studied the language, so I think that helps.
But
I think one of the things for me was everything is really quiet. Like people are quiet. Public transport is absolutely silent. Like no one talks on the phone. Actually, when we went to Korea, that was like a culture shock because we'd been living in Japan for so long, and then we went to Korea and everyone's talking on the phone in the train, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
We stepped on the train after leaving the airport, and someone was on the phone, and we went.
I'm always surprised when I go to Seoul and they're on their phones in the subway. Like, how do you have service down here?
Right?
How does that work? That's crazy. Yeah.
So I think that's probably a big thing. I guess like coming from Australia, everyone's pretty loud. So here, like you keep your voice down and everyone's silent on the train. But, it's actually kind of nice when you sort of get on the train after work and it's just like very peaceful.
That is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that was definitely a bit of a culture shock. And I guess probably in Tokyo, how many people there are. Like it's just crazy. Like on rush hour trains, you're literally like pushed, like
there is a man
sardined into the train.
Yeah, there's a man whose job it is to make sure the doors close. So he literally will push people in the door to get the train going.
Oh wow. Yeah. Really, like here, go, get in.
Really, like suck it in.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And like there's just crowds everywhere, like if you go to a shopping district, there's just always like lots of people. So you just have to be very patient.
Breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also one thing I miss from back home sometimes, like just going outside and there being like no one.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I miss that. Because I also come from a very rural, small place. So like
exactly
that.
Yeah. What's like something that you miss the most from back home?
Probably that
your family and friends.
Family, friends, obviously. Family and friends. I think also the friendliness of Australia. Like Japanese people are very friendly, and their hospitality is great, but
very polite.
Polite. But I once told a story about a chat I had with someone in a grocery store in Australia, and their first question was, "Why are you talking to the cashier at a grocery store?" Like, they're normal for us, but like they don't do that sort of stuff a lot, like talking on the street.
That's funny.
Yeah, not like the general chit chat where you get to know someone. Like it's very like customer Yeah,
Right.
like the customer service is amazing, but you're not making friends with them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we actually have a question here. And we talked about this already, but maybe we can just repeat it. So how can non-native speaking teachers teach in Japan? Are there any opportunities for us to teach there? If we could just maybe repeat that real quick.
So there are definitely opportunities. You would just have to have some kind of English qualification that you can show the employers. And the JET program takes non-native speakers. So I'm not sure what, where are you? Algeria? You're from Algeria? So the JET program has people from all over the world. You just have to have an English qualification that your English is a native level. I'm sure there are other companies as well.
Oh yeah, there's lots of like English conversation schools and all around Japan that hire anyone who has native level English. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Great. Good. Okay. And then, social media. Okay. So that's where people can find you guys, right?
Yes. Instagram, blog, YouTube.
So
probably
check
Instagram
them out.
is most regularly updated.
Yes.
I saw your recent Instagram post, like the blue flowers. That looks so amazing.
Oh, they were beautiful. Japan loves their flowers. Like,
yeah.
I think that's something I really love about Japan is how much beauty is appreciated. Like every season is appreciated. People, like, there are words for watching flowers, like hanami is flower watching.
Okay.
And people go to see the autumn leaves, and there's a different flower every month. And people talk about it at work. They're like, "Oh, did you see the lovely this flower?"
And people travel long distances to get to the flower fields, which is where those photos were taken, like specific flower fields.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing.
That's so pretty. Cool. And where is that at, the picture?
So that's in Ibaraki Prefecture, which is like northeast of Tokyo.
Okay. And I didn't know you also did YouTube. Cool.
A little bit.
A little
bit. Okay, I need to check that out too. Interesting.
Again, we haven't done a lot of traveling lately to update things.
Yeah. But can you travel like in Japan at the moment, or is not really advised?
Not advised. They advise against it. Well, especially Tokyoites, because the big cities is where Corona is. They kind of suggest that you don't leave.
Yeah,
but there's a lot to see and do in Tokyo, right?
There's so much. You could never run out of things to do.
Yeah. I really want to go. I've been to Fukuoka and Osaka and like Nara.
Oh
wow!
So, that's amazing.
Yeah, but I want to see more because it's so close to Korea. Like I want to go at least like once a year. But
did you take the ferry to Fukuoka?
I did, yeah, from Busan.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had to. That was actually a funny story because before I moved to Korea, I lived in China, and I had to get my Korean work visa, but that like kind of something didn't work out, so I couldn't get it in China. So I actually had to do it in Japan. So my school said you can do like a visa run. You just take the ferry, go to Fukuoka, and then get your visa 3 days and then back. So, but it was so fun. It was my first time in Japan. It was so cool.
That's amazing. That's
so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool that Fukuoka was your first experience in Japan.
Yeah. Have you been there?
Again, we had a trip booked, but we had to cancel it.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. I feel like, and that was like, that's so long ago. I feel like I did a lot. I actually did a kimono experience and like, I don't remember. I did a lot of stuff, but I feel like I could have seen more. I don't know. I want to go back.
Next time.
Yeah. All right. Then Q&A. Those are, I think, all of my questions. Let me just double check. Oh, no, I have 2 more questions, but there's also a question from the audience. So Tumi asks, how's the cost of living there? And how is the salary range? Maybe first.
Okay, well, hello.
Hello.
The cost of living really depends on where you are in Japan. Obviously, Tokyo, Kyoto have a much higher cost of living. But that being said, things like food, incredibly cheap.
So cheap.
All around Japan. Like that was a big difference between Australia, where food is so expensive to eat out. Here it's so cheap.
It can be cheaper to eat out than to buy food at the grocery store. Like if you eat somewhere for more than $10, you're like, wow, that's a bit expensive.
That's awesome. Cool. Do you eat? So you eat out pretty much every day?
No, we don't. Particularly not with Corona, you know.
Oh, yeah.
People at home, and we really like to cook, but
everything's
a lot of Tokyo people eat out or get bento boxes from the grocery store. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So yeah, if you're not a big cook, it's a great place to live.
And how's the salary range for people on a jet? Is it like different jet and private school, or is it different?
All jets have the same wage. And then it increases for each year you stay on jet, basically. And we do have, especially as ALTs, I think jet has the highest wages.
Yeah.
So we're really lucky to be on jet.
Yeah. It's not that far off what teachers get paid.
Yeah.
And you're in a so the first year salary for a jet is 280,000 yen per month, which is like $3,000 a month ish.
I think so. Yeah.
Depending on which dollar you're talking about. And
Google it.
Yeah. 280,000 yen per month for the first year, and then it grows up from there. And like we said earlier, if you live anywhere except Tokyo, your school will provide you with an apartment or a house even. Sometimes people who live in the countryside have like entire houses to themselves.
Wow. Rent free?
Not necessarily free, but like may as well be free, like $50 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's really cool. We live in inner city Tokyo. The suggested rent for a jet in Tokyo is 70,000 yen per month. We pay between 80 and 90,000 per month for our current apartments.
Mine's a little cheaper,
which is doable. It depends like how much traveling you want to do. Our last apartment was really tiny and very cheap for both of us to live in and split the rent. But we did that because we just wanted to travel and not be home that much. So,
but we find it really cool, like the jet salary with living in inner Tokyo.
Very much so. And if you are very worried about you want more space, lots of people live in the surrounding areas from Tokyo, like Saitama and Kanagawa, and they just commute in. Like to my school, most of the teachers don't live in Tokyo. They live outside, and it's a 30-minute train, which is what it takes me from inner Tokyo. So and it's a lot cheaper to live where they live. So
cool. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people like always say, like Tokyo's so expensive, like apartments are too expensive, but yeah, seems like you can make it work.
So you definitely
can. Yeah.
Okay, then I just want to mention one more time our 30% off link real quick for people who might have missed it in the beginning. This is the link. It's in the comment box. This link, if you apply through that, you can get 30% off any TEFL or TESOL course from ITTT. And which course did you take? The 120 hour?
120 hour.
Yeah, that's the most popular option for sure. Okay, or you can also scan the QR code, and then I'm gonna make us bigger. Okay, cool. And I think I actually have, let's see. Okay, one more question. I think we answered that kind of already. So same to me. Are you provided with accommodation in the JET program? Kind of said that.
Yeah, so if you're anywhere but Tokyo, yes, you will be provided with accommodation. If you're placed in Tokyo, they will set you up with an English-speaking real estate company, and they will help you find an apartment. So either way, you will have somewhere to live.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Great. All right. And that's one of my questions. What's your number one tip for others wanting to move to Japan to teach English?
I would say just come with an open mind. The teaching style here is very different probably to what you're coming from. And it's not your job to change the world. So just come with an open mind. Just try and fit in with the teachers. You'll probably work with lots of different teachers, lots of different classes. Just be really flexible and bring your enthusiasm, because you might be the only native speaker that foreigner that they've ever had contact with in real life. So just be enthusiastic about English. They've probably had like a whole week of grammar classes, and then you come in and you're the communication teacher. So just try and be like fun and encouraging. That would be my tip.
Yeah, it's a great tip.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Tip.
And then, sorry.
Oh, no. I would probably say be prepared to be your own advocate. And that's probably for any job in Japan. The work culture itself is very, very different to a lot of other places in the world. If you want to leave at 4 o'clock, which you're entitled to, then do it. Don't do ridiculous hours overtime because everyone else is. Also, be your own advocate for your type of English.
Oh yeah.
So obviously we're Australians. All of the textbooks that we teach from are American based. But luckily, after talking with the teachers at my school and everything, I am allowed to use British spellings and Australian words and teach the kids a bit of Australian English. And not everyone's allowed to do that. So, be your own advocate.
That's awesome. I think that's great advice for sure. Yeah, that's good. Cool. And then also, what is next for you? Are you gonna stay in Japan forever, or what's next?
Probably not forever. I am just finishing up on JET this month. This is my last month, so I've said goodbye to all my classes, and I have 2.5 weeks left. And then I'm going to work at an international school in Tokyo, where I will teach English and humanities. I'm really excited about that change. JET is a really great stepping stone into other positions in Japan, and it really helps already be in Japan to get a job in Japan.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I talked about that in my previous lives too, about usually your first year in a new country teaching is not going to be your end. That's usually the beginning for making connections and networking, and also finding out what kind of school you're looking for, maybe where you want to live. So the first year is usually kind of just getting to know the place and finding out what you like, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of suss out what the options are. And
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What about Betty?
I've just signed on for another year, or I'm about to start my 3rd year of JET. So I don't know, I'll probably stay as a JET for the next couple of years. I'm getting more and more of my own classes and more responsibility every year, which is great.
Cool.
I don't think I'll stay in Japan forever. I have thought about going on to continue doing ESL teaching in Europe or something. So also hence the TESOL course, very helpful for that.
Awesome.
So yeah, we'll see what happens after the world opens up again.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Then we're almost at the end. So if anyone else has a question for Maddy and Georgia before we sign off, now is your chance. And also make sure you follow them over here on all of the social media and blog. And I need to check out that YouTube too.
Yeah. And if you have like any questions, we're happy to answer them on our socials. If you think of a question later.
Or if you're coming to Japan one day.
Yeah, please. Let us know. We'd love to like help you out, show you around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely gonna take you up on that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to add before we sign off? Anything we've missed? Thinking. I don't think we missed anything.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe let's give it a couple more seconds. There's always a delay actually between the live and like I think it's like a 20-second delay between us talking and then it showing up on Facebook. So sometimes you need to give it a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very interesting. And really thank you so much again for taking your time today and joining us live. That was really great.
No, we are so honored to have been asked.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Okay, and Charles can confirm you're great tour guides.
Wow, that's our brother.
Thanks, Charlie.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I also really want to go to Australia. Never been.
Definitely.
Wow, can give you lots of recommendations.
Yeah, we're a little biased.
Yes, please.
Would recommend.
Yeah. Because, like, I was born and raised in Germany, and from Germany, it's so far to get to Australia. So just usually, yeah. But from Korea, it's not that far. It's still far, but not,
Yeah, not nearly as far.
Yeah. How long does it take when you fly from Tokyo back home?
I think it's like 8.5 hours to Brisbane, which is from. So
Okay.
it's great.
Yeah. And what's the best city in Australia?
I mean, again, a lot of bias. We're from the state of Queensland, and our capital in Queensland is Brisbane, and so that's where we did university. I lived there after university, and it's a city, but it doesn't feel like a city.
Okay. I think if you're looking for like the quintessential Australian experience. In the state of Queensland, you have like the beaches and the reef and also the outback. Oh yeah. It's got it all. Yeah. But also my favorite place is Tasmania. It's beautiful. The island underneath Australia.
Stunning.
The food is amazing. The nature is amazing. Yeah. I think it's an undiscovered part that people don't usually visit.
Yeah. Oh, I just want to go everywhere. Anywhere. Just outside of Korea.
Yeah, just anywhere. No.
All right, cool. I think we can sign off now. It was really awesome. We had a great chat. I learned a lot about Japan. And yeah, I think this is it for today. Please tune in again next week. And also, you can always rewatch this episode if you just caught it in the middle or you didn't have enough time. Please just watch it again. It's always in our playlist on Facebook and also on YouTube. And yeah, that's it for today then. Thank you so much again, Maddy and Georgia.
No, thanks
for having us.
All right. See you later.